2, 3, 5, 21. So who am I?
I wouldn't mind having them.
I think they're on the board.
Murphy started.
Oh, perfect.
1, 2, 3, 5, and
21, right?
there you go. You need names?
No, one. I think I got up there.
Okay.
So I thought he would start fifth.
That's why I put it.
How much did they know about points?
Both schools and the South Dakota High School Activities Association. The association and our corporate partners, Sanford Health, Dakota Bank, Farmers Union Insurance, Building Automotive, and South Dakota Army National Guard remind you that sportsmanship and the objectives of educational athletics are what set this event apart of other levels of competition. Your cooperation and support of the values promoted by these schools is much appreciated. Before any action, we honor America. Everyone, please rise, remove your hat, give the flag proper respect as we have Mr. Jason Grew and the Harrisburg High School Pep Band playing our national anthem.
Inch of space between your mouth and the mic. Last night I had it like right on my lip and it was making weird noises.
David Anderson.
Are you ready for us to go anytime we want?
Okay, awesome.
Evan Smith. Zach Sharp. And Ryder Lavender. And now, ladies and gentlemen, starting lineup of the Sturgis Scoopers. At guard, a 6-foot senior, number 2, Cedric Stabber. Also at guard, a 6-foot senior, number 3, Ryan Garland. And a forward, a 6'4" junior, number 0, Marcus Myrick. Also at forward, a 6'3" senior, number 32, Gavin West. And at center, a 6'4" senior, number 42, Jay Crawl. The Scoopers are coached by Paris Buss, assistants at pass, Patrick Gatsby, and Megan Mahoney. Now, the reserves for the Tigers. Peyton Walker. Nick Feldman. Sam Christensen. Blaze Lewis. Andrew Walter. Peyton Metzger. Carter Geddes. Nathan Boyd. Henry Schultz. And Nathan Geddes. Now we meet the side lineup of the Tigers. Our captains and Edward At the guard, the 5'10" senior, number 2, Nick White. As a guard, the 6'4" senior, number 5, Adam Jackson. And forward, the 6'4" senior, number 1, Blair Slaughter. Also forward, the 6'2" senior, number 3, Cale Murphy. And at forward, 6'3" senior, number 21, Isaac Brower.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We get ready for the boys' SODAC 16 action. Girls were victorious last night. We are pleased to welcome head coach of the Harrisburg girls basketball team, Nick Meyer, up in the booth with us tonight. The Harrisburg boys will be taking on the Sturgis Scoopers. The winner advances to the state tournament. The loser sets sights for next season. So everything is on the line tonight for Harrisburg. We got our starting lineups on the way. We are looking to tip off about an hour and a half late. The Scoopers had an incident on the interstate with an accident near Presho, but we are ready to tip off at 7:30 with high school AA boys action. Let's get ready for some basketball. The Tigers will take the first tap. Sturgis in a man-to-man defense. Blair Slaughter with the first attempt. The rebound taken by Cale Murphy and the putback. The Tigers will lead 2-0. Offensive rebounding played a big key last night for Harrisburg's girls, and right away the first 2 points are off an offensive rebound for Cale Murphy. Almost a steal for the Tigers and a tip pass. Murphy knocks the ball out. Max Anderson, our resident ball handler here from the crowd, does help the officials from time to time, and Sturgis will have it on the sideline. Each of these teams come in tonight as the number 7 and 8 respectively, with the Tigers being the number 7 team in the state and the Scoopers number 8. So we are at the absolute middle of the Sweet 16 for the SODAC. The Scoopers have 15 wins compared to the Tigers 11, but when you factor in the PowerPoint system, the Tigers do host tonight. A steal by Hoyt pushes it up to Murphy. The Tigers will regroup around the end. A drive by Blair out, and a floater to, and another offensive rebound. So we had Erickson with the miss, and Blair Slaughter with the putback.
That's just a really nice job by Blair getting that offensive rebound there. That's going to be big for us here. A fairly comparable team size-wise. It's just a really, really nice job, him going to get an offensive board, keeping plays alive.
Little miscue there for the Scoopers. Guy dove to the basket as he was passing to the wing, so it's out of bounds to the Tigers. We have our first early timeout from Coach Darius Buss. Coach, you know Coach Buss a little bit. As you come in and travel across the state, give us a little input. And when you travel 200 plus miles to play a basketball game in one season, what are some of the things you look to do to your team?
Well, you got to make sure the energy level is there right away. You get them going early, get them on the bus, get them off the bus midway through on that trip. They just a crazy trip that they had today. Get them off the bus, get them here, get them in the right mindset, and then get them. There's a nice 15-minute warm-up, making sure they're getting the right shots up, not standing around, and ready to go. But we've had long bus trips, just being in the ESD and just in AA, and the biggest thing with us is just energy. You got to be able to manufacture that somehow and be ready to go, especially on the road.
And I'm sure Coach Buss looked at that with 2 quick putbacks for the Tigers. Wanted to talk to his kids about settling in and doing their game plan. Tigers will have it in the half court.
Great set. Great out of timeout set right there. Great play.
Good set from Coach Langrock. We also missed assignment from the Scoopers. Quick layup from Isaac Brower gives the Tigers a 6-0 lead. Scoopers move the ball around the perimeter. A lot of dribble drive and handoff offense here from Sturgis with high pick and roll. Shot clock under 15. Good penetration from number 3, Ryan Garland. Little pullback jump shot, and he's able to bring the Scoopers within 4 at 6-2. Isaac Brower tries to go underneath, but gets his own rebound. Loose ball is corralled by the Scoopers. Kick out to the corner for the 3. A little bit long. Offensive rebound, Sturgis. Put back no good. Another offensive rebound. And they will sit back up in the half-court set. Ball is tipped out of bounds by number 1, Blair Slaughter. In for the Tigers will be number 33, a sophomore for Harrisburg. That will be Braden Phipps and another sophomore, Connor Geddes. So some young folks getting some early starts from Coach Langrock on the first rotation. Good penetration by Sturgis. Blair Slaughter with the help block from the backside. And the "You Got Slaughtered" chant from the Harrisburg student section as Blair Slaughter makes a nice defensive play.
That's a tough shot. Well defended.
Blair Slaughter pulls that rebound. Now Harrisburg will take the ball into their half-court set. Again, both teams playing straight up man-to-man defense. Kick out to Connor Geddes.
Just a lot of like similarities in their offensive schemes here. A lot of dribble drive, kick. You got a post inside working, looking for shots like that.
Tough to defend when you have a hand in the face. But Hoyt knocks down his first three-point attempt, and the Tigers lead 9-2 with just over 4 minutes left in the first quarter.
Little dribble weave here from Sturgis.
Slaughter gets his hand on the ball, but Sturgis is able to corral it back. Sturgis doing a nice job of penetration here and kicking out. And the shot falls for Marcus Myrick, number 0 for Sturgis. So we're back to 9-5, a 4-point possession game here. Hoyt with another look at the basket and a quick shot. Not able to connect, but Phipps with the offensive rebound. Stepped on the end line, and Sturgis will have the ball. Checking back in for the Tigers is number 21, Isaac Brower, and in for the Scoopers, number 14, Alec Keffler, a 5'11" senior guard. So the Scoopers very guard heavy here. Interesting to see the matchup with Phipps in the middle at 6'6", the tallest kid on the floor. We'll see if they look to take advantage. Ryan Ladner a little long with the ball, and the loose ball is picked up by Cale Murphy. Murphy will pass it off to Hoyt in the half court. Over to Geddes. Geddes will drive baseline, kick out to Brower, left alone at the three-point line, in and out, and the Scoopers corral the ball. Good shot fake. Baseline drive by Ryan Garland, who kicks over to Ryan Ladner, who's fouled.
I really like what Sturgis does off their high ball screen, try to get kids going downhill towards the basket. Then if they don't have it, they return the pass, and that's how they got that open look in that corner. Off a lot of that dribble weave, high ball screen stuff, they don't necessarily throw the ball to where they're going. They'll jump stop and reverse it because the defense is now shifted, and they get a really good shot in the corner.
Number 42, Jay Crow, checks back in for the Scoopers. Ladner's first shot is good to bring us to a 3-point game. Ladner's second is on the way. Ladner connects to bring it to a 2-point game. Harrisburg will bring the ball down into the half-court set. Harrisburg runs Hoyt off a succession of screens. He kicks it to Connor Geddes. The ball knocked out of bounds by Cedric Stabber. Blair Slaughter checking back into the game, along with Adam Erickson for the Tigers. 21 seconds left on the shot clock in this possession for the Tigers. Coach, much like last night, it looks like the Scoopers are not going to leave Nick Hoyt alone. You guys employed this defense very effectively on Roosevelt's Koima last night. Tell us what you look for when you see a potential player that could take over the game and how you do that.
Right, well, I mean, just scheming that game, just watching game after game after game in terms of the film that we received. You know, the last 2 games that she played, she was 14 of 18 from behind the arc. And that's something where, you know, she's feeling it. In the last couple of games of the regular season, we've got to make sure that we're chasing her through every single screen to where she can't have any daylight. And I thought Coach Dana Biggie did a phenomenal job scheming that. And our kids bought into that, taking the scouting report to the floor. She got 1 open 3 in transition. Everything else was contested. And our kids did just a great job not being able to let her get going because, man, she can shoot it quick and fill it up real quick.
So we'll see how Nick Hoyt handles a very similar defense tonight as the Sturgis Scoopers look to corral him. Kind of a questionable call there. The Tiger fans thought Nick Hoyt had drawn a charge, but a block. But Harrisburg is able to defend the success. And Blair Slaughter with the pull-up jumper at the elbow to give the Tigers 11-7 lead with 2 minutes left in the first quarter.
Blair's just so tough to guard. He's so long. He comes off that ball screen real well. Pull-up jumper. You know, that's a 8-9 foot jumper for him. That's an easy one.
Again, Sturgis employing a lot of high screens. The Tigers are looking to switch a majority of those. Three-pointer bounces in and out, made contact with the shot clock, which is out of bounds, so Tigers will take possession. Checking in for Hoyt is number 10 for the Tigers, Nick Feldman, a senior. Another senior guard for the Tigers. Who is in? A late check-in by the Scoopers. Number 14, Alec Kefner, will reset. Adam Erickson will bring the ball down for the Tigers. Again, both teams looking very much to play man-to-man defense. Very nice input pass there. Inside from Adam Erickson to number 33, Braden Phipps, and the ball goes in, taking advantage of that height.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you said before he's the tallest kid on the floor at 6'6", and he's a big body in there too. He's tough to defend, and if we can move the ball really well, I mean, we can't probably throw an entry pass to him right away. And this is something we tell our kids too. We can't make the entry right away. The ball's got to be reversed a couple of times, and then as you know the defense shifts and help shifts, we can make that entry and go up strong and finish just like Braden did right there.
You hear from a lot of coaches how important the post touch is. How often do you stress that, and your team is, how often do you want the ball to be touched by the post on a possession in a game?
Well, you know, with ours, we used to just run just a basic 4-out, and we'd have Janai Ugoski inside the whole time. Now we've kind of brought her out a little bit more so she can make a reversal pass for us or an entry pass, and then she'll dive in, and then we're looking to get it to her. But, you know, if we can't, we just implored our kids to don't force it in there. You don't have to force it there. Eventually to get there, if she doesn't get it, she'll come out and set a ball screen, and we'll try to go from there. But, yeah, we would definitely want to get the post touch. That's a big part of our game.
Sturgis with the ball in the half-court set. A good ball fake. A drive and dish. Number 32, Zach Schoen, may be affected there by Phipps in the middle. And Phipps is able to corral after what looked like to be a block shot. Now Sturgis is paying a little bit more attention to Phipps inside with some backside help, which would open up the three-point arc, and Isaac Brower is just a little long with the three-point shot.
You know, we move the ball real well, able to swing it and get a really nice shot in the corner there. And I thought Braden did a nice job walling up defensively in there too, not picking up that foul, and a pretty good post move by number 32.
Pretty good action by both teams in the first quarter here. A lot of live action on and off the ball. Not a lot of scoring right away. Some of it probably good defense. Some of it we're just not knocking down shots right now for either team. Sturgis once again with a miss from the corner by Marcus Myrick. Harrisburg will hold for the last shot. 14 seconds left on the shot clock. Into Braden Phipps. He's double teamed, takes a step around. Short with the layup. And the final shot will not fall. So at the end of the first quarter, the Tigers lead the Scoopers 13-7 as we go into second quarter action. If we look at the scoreboard here for the Tigers, balanced scoring. We have number 1, Blair Slaughter leading with 4, and we have 3 people with 2 points. And for the Scoopers, we have Marcus Myrink leading the team with 3 and 2 other people with 2 points. So a balanced scoring here. Coach, tell us about Sweet 16, or which we can't use that actual word, the SODAC 16 here. What kind of pressure does that put on a team and a coach when it's a one and done, whether you're the best team in the state or the lowest ranked team in the state?
It is a lot of pressure. Like the old region system, you don't have that. Well, you can come back and maybe get a draw, a second chance to kind of work your way back through it. It's fun though, because it's that one game and you scheme for that one game, and it's kind of all built up to that. And yeah, if you have a rough night, then that's it, and your season's done. But you trust in the process. You trust in your kids. We had 4 or 5 days of pretty good practice leading up to that, and felt good at kind of where we were at and how we finished our regular season as well. And fortunately, we were able to get a really nice win last night and able to go to state here in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely. Congratulations to you and the girls. We start the second quarter action here with the Tigers leading the Scoopers 13-7. It will be Sturgis ball. Sturgis looking for a little isolation here on the side, back up to the top. Ryan Garland resets the offense with another high pick. Harrisburg looking to show right away, but gets it inside, and a nice post move by Gavin West for 2 points to bring it to 13-9.
Sets that high ball screen, dives hard to the rim. He's just going downhill. That's so tough to guard.
Great kick out by Isaac Brower. Blair Slaughter almost knocked it down. It rattles in and out, and it will be off Cale Murphy's left hand. The Scoopers will have possession. Ryan Garland brings the ball down for the Scoopers as their point guard. Once again, the Tigers in tight man-to-man defense, defending that high screen and roll. Tigers not switching right now, but showing very hard. Slaughter with a good job of staying down, and a travel. Slaughter went up high to block the shot. Cedric Stabber just stutter step to try to get it off, and the referee caught it, so it will be Tiger ball. Skip pass over to Hoyt. If he sees an inch, he will let it fly, and it rattles in and out for Hoyt. Sturgis with the rebound and looking to push. No numbers, and they will look to pull it out and reset. Point guard Ryan Garland has it at the half-court circle. Good swing. Shot fake by Cedric Stabber. Almost called the three-pointer before he let it go. And Slaughter with another block. Skip past to Hoyt with ball fake.
Great looking transition.
Slaughter left alone, drives the basket and is fouled. Slaughter will go to the line for 2. A lot of fast action. We're having some trouble with finishing some baskets here at the beginning. Slaughter does get to the rim and is fouled.
Team first. Blair Slaughter on the line, 2 shots.
It's like 2 heavyweight fighters just trying to feel each other out a little bit early stages of the game.
Sub for the Scoopers is number 42, Jay Crow, will check back into the game. Slaughter for his second chance. Second one falls for Slaughter to give the Tigers a 14-9 lead with 6.5 left in the second quarter. Coach Buss calling the offensive set for the Scoopers. Blair Slaughter with the nice help doubling down and is able to stick his hand in and steal the ball. Pushes it to Cale Murphy, who's left alone, and the layup does fall after it comes out of the rim for just a second. So Cale Murphy with a good job of a rim run for the big guy.
Either Coach Langrock stressed this in practice this week, or they really talked about that at the break, but transition-wise, we're really pushing the ball right now and getting steals to help with that.
Blair Slaughter with the kick over to Adam Erickson on the fast break. Back into Murphy again. Strong with the layup. It looked like Murphy was maybe expecting some contact, and when it wasn't there, the shot went too far off the left side. Long three-pointer by Ryan Garland is corralled by Blair Slaughter, who pushes it into the Tigers' half-court set. Adam Erickson is left alone, finds Murphy alone under the basket. Left-handed layup is good. Great assist by Adam Erickson as he took that hard dribble right, saw that he was left alone under the basket, and Cale Murphy is able to put it in.
2 really good passes by Adam in a row.
The and one, number 32, Gavin West for the Scoopers, fouled on the block. Cale Murphy was a little bit late on his rotation and hit him on the arm as he went up. So we'll have the old-fashioned three-point play attempt by by Gavin West here as he steps to the free throw line for one.
It's a big basket by Sturgis right there. We've gone on kind of a run here in this first half of the second quarter. So that was a big basket for them to kind of get them going a little bit.
As you can expect, there's probably some nerves out there on the floor. Every one of these young men knows that this game's outcome determines whether they play in the state tournament or are done for what for most of them is their senior year, which is something you always have to take into effect. One of the Harrisburg seniors answers just as we say. Nick Hoyt with a deep three-pointer to push the Tigers up by 10. Number 3, Ryan Garland with the drive. He's fouled by Hoyt as he drives, but it's on the floor, so the Scoopers will have the ball at the baseline.
Yeah, we talk to our kids a lot, and I think Hoyt maybe gets a little bit too body-ish, or sometimes our help on drives like that, we reach in and get a foul that way. We're just trying to tell our kids to be straight up and force them to go to the rim against length. And our kids have a lot of length inside with Isaac and Braden and Blair. Let them get into the rim and see how they finish in there, as opposed to kind of bailing that kid out driving to the basket.
Sturgis with the ball out of bounds. Look to reset it up top. Now get the ball inside to Gavin West. West has the ball poked away by Isaac Brower. And Connor Geddes and Adam Erickson will reset the Tiger offense. Blair Slaughter with the ball now on the wing. Phipps up top to swing. Erickson into the lane, kicks out to Brower. Pump fake. And a foul looks to be called on Sturgis. Good ball movement by Harrisburg and a couple nice shot fakes to get some of the Sturgis Scoopers up in the air, and Brower is able to get to the lane. Foul on number 32, Gavin West. Brower will shoot 2.
Well, he's so tough to defend because he can shoot the 3, and so do you run out at him? How do you guard him? And then when you run out to contest, he can ball fake you, like you said, and rip to the basket, and now he's at the free throw line.
Brower's first shot is good to give the Tigers a 22-11 lead. In for the Scoopers, number 35, Ryder Lander, a 6'4 junior. Brower's second shot is no good. Scoopers bring the ball down under 4 in the second quarter. Little confusion there for the Tigers on whether they were going to switch. On the roll, it's given to number 32, and he's able to put the ball in. Gavin West with a nice left-handed shot inside the lane.
He's really doing a nice job inside. Slows himself down. He doesn't try to go too fast with things. Ball fake, finish with the left. That's a good play.
Isaac Brower once again, shot fake and a drive. Pull-up jumper, rolls off the front of the rim. And West able to take that rebound. 9-point game here as the Scoopers come down with just over 3 minutes left. Rebound by Phipps is kicked out. Pushed up ahead to Adam Erickson. Into the post. Nice spin move by Braden Phipps. Took a drop step with that left foot and was able to put it up with the right hand.
Speaking of being controlled in the post, going up, he slows himself down. He's so solid in there too. It's just tough to defend and finishes with that right hand.
You see Phipps as a sophomore, and you think how much more polished he'll probably get in the next 2 years. Hopefully a cornerstone for Coach Langrock in the near future.
Absolutely.
Nice spin move by Blair Slaughter. Good body control, and he's able to put in the basket. Tigers on a 4-point run here We've seen Coach Buss call timeouts in these to try to stop the Tigers. 2:20 left in the first quarter, and we have a little run by the Tigers, and the crowd's starting to get into the game. Ball is left for the post player who did not see it, and Isaac Brower's able to get Connor Geddes inside, but is fouled by number 32, Gavin West. Excuse me, number 35, Ryder Lander with that foul, a 6'4 junior.
Ball on number 35, Lander. His second, team third. Geddes.
Connor Geddes, a sophomore for the Tigers, at the line for 2. First basket is good. Checking in for the Tigers will be number 3, Cale Murphy, taking Isaac Brower's spot. The Tigers had Nick Hoyt up to the bench and then pulled him back with the little run that they're taking here. How important is that, Coach, if you have a kid like Nick Hoyt who's going to be running off screens and playing hard defense all night, to get him some rest on the defensive end?
Yeah, you've got to be able to do that, and you don't want to have him probably pick up that third foul with 2 minutes left now that you've got a 15-point lead. You're kind of on a run. Obviously, you want your scorer back out there, but if he picks up that third, now he's got to be careful in the second half to pick up 4 or 5. Like I said, he's got to be running off screens. He's active defensively, and so maybe resting and sitting him here for maybe 30 more seconds. Maybe they bring him in last minute, see if they can give him a look offensively here towards the end of the half.
The Tigers with a good defensive stand there, got the shot clock down to 3 points before Sturgis was able to get his shot up. Phipps interior pass to Blair Slaughter, who's able to go up over the top and put the basket in. As Coach Meyer mentioned, Blair Slaughter's a tough guard, very long for a 6'4 kid, and was just able to go right up over the top of Marcus Myrink there for 2 points.
And a really nice job by Phipps facing up to the basket, catching it, making a great entry pass inside. That's tough when you're throwing 6'6", throwing in a 6'4". That's just a tough stop, tough guard.
2 sophomores in the game here for the Tigers with Phipps
Tough shot.
and Geddes, but a great shot for the Scoopers. Number 3, Ryan Garland, a deep step back three-pointer, gives the Scoopers 16 points in the second quarter. The Tigers just over the shot clock with 20 left here. We have 30 on the shot clock, so a 10-second differential. The Tigers will look to run much of that shot clock off. Maybe not. Adam Erickson with the deep 3 to give the Tigers a 33-16 lead. That's one we talked about with Coach Langrock, where as a coach on the sideline, you might be saying, no, 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 and then it falls and you say, great shot, kid.
Good shot.
Geddes with the tip and tries to run. Erickson just missed the pass to streaking Geddes to the basket. 1.1 left for the Scoopers, who are trailing in this contest 33-16. The Tigers will make sure they don't get an easy look here. And actually not a bad look from 84 feet, but the Tiger crowd gives them the airball chant anyway. Harrisburg will lead at the halftime of 33-16. A good contest here so far. We will take a few breaks for some messages from the South Dakota High School Activities Association. We'll be back in 10 minutes with the leading scorers and some updates from the first half. Thanks to all you who are listening on the Tiger Vision. We want to thank Mr. Ryan Kroger and all the Tiger Vision cameramen and women tonight for everything that they do. For you Tiger fans who are not able to make it out tonight, we appreciate you listening.
13 to 21, got to the line 6 times. You know, Sturgis, I think, you know, to get back into the game, they're going to stop our transition. We really like to get out and go, and they're going to need offensively to get to the free throw line to try to extend the game.
They know that only 2% of all high school athletes are awarded a
get to the free throw line
So
and
why
try
do
to
they
extend
play?
the game that way.
why
Obviously, we want to keep offensive
Tell us
rebound and
your
keep shooting the ball like that.
Tigers run a set off the first possession, and Nick Hoyt with a deep three-pointer to extend to a 20-point lead for the Tigers. So exactly what Coach Meyer noted did not happen for the Scoopers, as they were not able to get stops on the defensive end. However, a good layup pass from number 35 for the Scoopers, Ryder Lander, and number 42, Jake Kroll, able to finger roll the basket in. So able to get points on the board. Hoyt from the exact same spot, exact same result. So back-to-back threes for Hoyt, something I'm sure Coach Buss talked about at halftime, that we could not let number 2 for the Tigers get going.
You know, pretty good defense too. He's got such a quick release, and his footwork is just so good.
To help others.
And when he catches and that thing's going up, that's
There are lots
a
of
really
great
good shot.
reasons to
Really
play
good
high
chance of that
school
thing going in the basket.
and to participate in other high school activities.
Errant pass leads to over and back for the Scoopers, so an unforced turnover.
Using the
That's the last thing I'm sure Coach Buss and the Scoopers wanted to see was Nick Hoyt get hot. After the first half, he did not have a lot of baskets, but back-to-back three-pointers from Hoyt right now gives him 12 points and a step-back three for Hoyt. Maybe a little bit of a heat check there. Just a little long for Hoyt on that one, and it will be Scoopers ball.
It's the kid in grade school who paints her face blue and white before every home game.
It's the accountants.
Same 5 starters for both as they come out after halftime. Sturgis got an early basket, and Hoyt with the quick three-pointers. Now a drive to the basket and another good dish. Not able to finish, but back up with an offensive rebound and a foul on number 3, Cale Murphy. So good work under the basket by Gavin West from the Scoopers. Able to get an offensive rebound after he missed the first layup, and now he's at the line for 2.
I like Sturgis's patience there. They ran a horn set at the top and didn't try to throw it right away. We run actually kind of the same set where we reverse it to that post who's now stepped out. One dives, one stays high, and it's kind of a high-low look. They swung it one more time and got a really nice look that way. They didn't try to force it and go to the free throw line for 2.
Gavin West makes both free throws to bring it to 39-20 with 6.5 left in the third quarter.
It's the cashier at the corner.
A nice cut by Isaac Brower, and he's able to put it up and in. Good look from Blair Slaughter as Isaac Brower cut from the right elbow and was able to get the easy layup. See a lot of that this year, Coach. A lot of teams are bringing their post up to the top to help reverse. Not only does that reverse the basketball, but tell us how opening that lane up can help the dribble drive.
You know, I think, and they call it something like positionless basketball almost, you know, where it's not just the traditional, the 5 has to be inside on just go block to block to block. We run a lot of that just because, you know, our 5s, our bigs are such good passers that they can see maybe a kid cutting in. And like you said, if we reverse it, we got a good chance of driving into the lane instead of running into a post kid inside. Now we're driving in the lane where there's nobody there, and we can jump stop and go finish, or we can look to kick. Then we have our post get in eventually. But we really like our post starting high and then dive into the basket.
Sturgis doing a great job of moving the basketball this half. That basket by number 0, Marcus Myrink. Not a number you see a lot in high school basketball, but Myrink able to hit the right-hand floater. 22-41 with 5.5 left in the third quarter. Tigers in the half-court set will move it around the perimeter. Another good cut by Hoyt. Looks to reverse pivot back into the lane, but is cut off with a double team. Over to Cale Murphy. Murphy just a little bit short with that three-pointer, but a good look for the Tigers on the reversal to the left corner.
Yeah, ball movement was really good there. You know, we were patient, we got a shot down in, you know, the 17-18 range of the shot clock. That's a pretty good possession, pretty good shot.
Deep three-pointer for the Scoopers is off, but he's able to gather his own rebound. Unfortunately, with the throwback to the half-court to save it, it does go over and back. Checking in for the Tigers, number 33, Braden Phipps will come in for Isaac Brower. Maybe give the Tigers more of that proverbial post presence here as we come into this half-court set. Checking in for the Scoopers, number 34, Zach Schoen, a 6'2 junior. We'll see if that changes up how the Tigers run their offense with a true center coming into the game. Slaughter is able to come to the corner. Phipps is double teamed. Miscommunication between Hoyt and Phipps. Phipps decided to dive to the basket just as Hoyt was passing him the ball. And the ball goes out of bounds to the Scoopers. Checking in for the Tigers, number 23, Connor Geddes. Fight for the rebound here in the corner. Myrick wins it. But the ball is just off the hands of Gavin West as he looked to dump it into the post. Tigers will have the ball on their baseline. 4.5 left here in the third quarter with the Tigers leading 41-22 as they look to come back for a half-court set. Geddes loses the handle at half court, and Ryan Garland is able to steal the basketball. A good dump down to number 32, Gavin West, and West is able to put the ball in the hoop for the Scoopers.
Yeah, Garland could even finish that one, I think, at the basket. Does, a nice job making a pass to a kid who's there, and then they move the ball and get a good look for West.
Hoyt with the step back is not able to connect, so Hoyt hot off his first 2 shots in the quarter, but is now 2 for 4 in the quarter as he's missed his last 2 shots. Scoopers look to reverse the basketball. Number 14, Alec Hefner with the drive. Kick into number 32, Gavin West, and West is able to put it off the glass. A mini run here for the Scoopers, and Coach Langrock wants to talk about it.
I think our possessions have become a little bit quick. We had a turnover a possession ago. Last round, I'm not saying it was a bad shot, but it was kind of quick in terms of the shot clock. We don't want to, it's such a fine line with, do you want to run clock? How much do you run? And do you not want to score? Of course you want to score. You want to keep the pedal down. But quick shots all of a sudden now turn into baskets at the other end, and maybe a little bit of momentum on Sturgis' side, where Coach Langrock calls a good timeout here. Try to quell that momentum, get it back on our side, and get us rolling again.
Always the coach's dilemma. How much time do you run off the shot clock when you have a big lead? Does it change the chemistry of your offense when kids are thinking in the back of their head, I shouldn't shoot it with 20 seconds left on the clock, even though they got a good shot?
Yeah, and we don't want to tell our kids, hey, we don't want you to shoot. It's just not maybe that quick of a shot, right? And so you don't want to ever take that away from kids, because you want to encourage them to shoot it, but it's knowing the difference between an okay shot or a great shot in that type of situation.
We'll still take layups all the time?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm going to guess that Coach Langrock may have mentioned taking the basketball to the rim here a little bit for the Tigers. They have been settling for some jump shots here lately. Checking in for the Tigers, number 10, Nick Feldman, senior guard, is into the game. We have seen Phipps in the game, but haven't seen a post touch yet since he has checked in. I have noticed Scoopers have been kind of crowding the lane here with Phipps.
Really good screens. Our screen action is really, really good right now.
Tell us your reason using the hashtag #MyReasonWhy.
Slaughter with the drive. Not able to get the roll. Phipps up and in. Phipps the second time. And Slaughter goes up high, but unfortunately can't control the rebound, and it's out of bounds to the Scoopers.
I thought that's a really good possession there, right? I mean, that's a great shot that Blair made 3 or 4 of those in the first half. Him going to the rim like that, and Braden doing a nice job on the offensive glass. That's a really good possession.
The Scoopers, number 34, Zach Schoen with a deep 3. The last 2 possessions, they've used Braden Phipps' defender, and when Phipps goes to hedge, they've kicked it to him at the top of the key and got a couple good shots. So a little bit of an offensive and defensive run here for the Scoopers as they've cut it to a 12-point lead. Langrock will take Mr. Phipps out now, and Isaac Brower is back into the ballgame.
This message presented by the NFHS.
28 seconds left on the shot clock, just over 2.5 left in the third quarter. The Tigers lead 41-29, and Blair Slaughter's called for a travel. So 3 possessions in a row, the Tigers unable to score baskets. See if the Scoopers can answer for a third straight possession. Again, a high pick and roll and a kick. Exact same play, different result this time. Schoen unable to hit the 3-pointer, and Isaac Brower pushes into the front court. misses the layup and the tip. So a great job of Brower pushing it all the way to the rim, but unable to finish.
This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administration.
Skip pass to an isolation over on the right side for the Scoopers. Now they'll look to reset with a high screen. Kick out to Myrick. And Myrick is able to hit. The 6'4 junior hits from the left corner. And it's a 9-point basketball game, so down to 3 possessions.
Boy, they're really staying with that double high screen on top and kind of getting Garland going downhill towards the basket. And he does a great job leaving his feet under, having a plan when you go to the baseline. That's what we tell our kids a lot is if you're going to drive baseline, you've got to be able to have a plan because that's no man's land when you get down there. If you pick the ball up, you get doubled. You bring the baseline in as almost another defender. Does a nice job leaving his feet airborne and finding Myrick out there in the corner for an open 3.
So the Scoopers on a run here in the third quarter. A second timeout for Coach Langrock, discussing with his kids probably their new offensive set and also maybe some adjustments on defense with that double high screen from the Scoopers. Last time they came out of a timeout, the Scoopers did have a good defensive set, but the Tigers were able to hit.
Why do thousands of teenagers here in South Dakota participate in high school sports activities?
My reason why is friendship.
Their reasons are as diverse as the students themselves. But the one thing they all share is the opportunity.
The Tigers look to get it into Brower in the half-court set, and he's fouled by number 34, Zach Schoen.
Learning how to be a leader.
His first foul. Not a lot of fouls here in this quarter. We're down to 1:40 and only 3 fouls called in the whole quarter. A nice back screen to get Brower. A nice easy layup for the Tigers, a bucket they much needed.
Absolutely. What a great screen there.
So the Tigers have a 43-32 lead with 1.5 minutes left. Baseline drive by number 14, Alec Keffler. The shot is waved off, but the foul is called on number 5, Adam Erickson. The third for the Tigers in this quarter. The Scoopers will have the ball with 1.5 minutes left and a fresh 35 on the shot clock. Again, the high screen and roll. Look to split that screen. And the basket is good for number 3, Ryan Garland. So the Scoopers catching a little bit of fire here in the end of the third quarter.
Once again, that return pass there. A great pass made by number 14. Jump stop, return it to Garland in the corner for a tough corner 3.
Brower able to bring it into Cale Murphy for the nice layup. Great dribble penetration from Isaac Brower and is able to just hand it off to Cale Murphy for a nice layup. Again, the Tigers getting a nice close rim shot rather than settling for all those 3-point baskets. Shot clock is turned off here in the third quarter. The Tigers will hold for one last shot. A 10-point lead for the Tigers with the third quarter, looking to extend to that 12 to 13 points. Now Hoyt with the basketball. 10 seconds left on the clock. Double screen, and it is not good. Sturgis, 3 seconds left from half court. And 0.5 left on the clock. So the Tigers will have, if I remember my rules correctly, at 0.5 we can still shoot it.
Oh yeah.
At 0.4 we have to tip. So Adam Erickson will get just shy. So the Tigers take a 10-point lead, 45 to 35, into the fourth quarter. A quick message from the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. This is sportsmanship. This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message is presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. We thank you all for listening on our YouTube channel tonight. Hopefully you're enjoying a very good game. The Scoopers make a little bit of a run there to get it down to 10 points. Coach, put us in that huddle. What's Coach Langrock saying with 1 quarter left for the state tournament and a 10-point lead?
Well, we were able to kind of weather the storm, all right? You know, Sturgis comes out and scores 19 points in that quarter, and we still got a 10-point lead going into the fourth. So the first possession, well, obviously Sturgis has got the ball right away, so we'll tell our kids, let's get a stop, and let's get a great shot offensively, and let's try to continue that mantra, I guess, going through the fourth quarter. Be ready for pressure, be ready for different looks, but remember, you know, you've got a 10-point lead going into this. That doesn't mean that we sit back and let it happen, but you fought through a tough third quarter, you got to lead in the fourth, and now let's just finish it out.
So the Scoopers with the basketball here for the first possession of the last quarter. A lot of pressure on these young men as they all realize that this is it. This is a quarter for the state tournament. A lot of seniors on the floor for both squads. Let's see how each of them handles the pressure for this fourth quarter. A nice pick and roll once again, but a good rotation from Isaac Brower.
Yeah, great rotation.
Under 5 on the shot clock for the Scoopers. Have to take a pullback 3. But the offensive rebound for number 2, Cedric Stabber, and the Scoopers get to reset. While the Tigers had a good defensive set there, the offensive rebound resets the whole thing. Blair Slaughter able to get a piece, but the Scoopers are scrappy and get the loose ball.
Defensively, we're really solid right now.
Now the Tigers are switching up at the top on that high ball screen. Step back 3 for Stabber. Falls short.
Now we just got a defensive rebound.
Absolutely. That is the third offensive rebound of the fourth quarter already in one possession. The Tigers have yet to have the ball in their half of the court. Coach Langrock will switch sophomores and take Connor Geddes off the floor and put Braden Phipps in the middle. So the Scoopers with their fourth possession of the fourth quarter. The Tigers yet to see anything on their end. Phipps able to get a piece, and great defense by him, staying down and letting his size affect the shot.
Absolutely. He doesn't have to go up and block that shot. Force him to shoot it over the top just like he did there. It was a great job, and now it's our basketball.
Really nobody in foul trouble for either team here, so we should have all of the players the coaches want on the floor for the fourth quarter. Let's see how the Tigers do with their first set of the fourth quarter. Looking to work it around the perimeter here. Phipps on the rotation. Sets the high screen for Slaughter, who gets to the rim. Great body control. He's able to get up there and hang just a little bit longer than everybody else and put it in the basket for 2.
A nice little, maybe it was a chip screen, maybe meant to be a ball screen by Phipps. Frees Blair to the middle, and Blair going to the middle. That's just a tough stop.
Dribble drive handoffs here for the Scoopers. They are, nice pass.
Good play.
Great pass from Cedric Stabber to number 42, Jake Kroll, who's able to put the layup in. The Tigers giving up a little dribble penetration here that's causing them to give up some points. Brower with the hesitation dribble. And he's off to the left side, and the Scoopers with the rebound. Stabber on that high screen and roll. Slaughter able to get the ball free. And went through the two-handed slam. Legs maybe gave out a little bit there, but he gets the nice friendly roll. A lot of anticipation from the crowd there, and I think they're all just glad it ended up going in.
Yep. Yeah, friendly roll is right. That was a great defensive play. You know, he doesn't have to reach in. It just causes a lot of problems with his length and finishes on the other end.
Travel called before Phipps. Might have got him on the arm there, but Stabber took an extra step before he was able to get that. You could kind of feel the anticipation of the dunk there. Might have gotten the best of Blair Slaughter, but he's worked very hard on both ends of the floor tonight. He's probably pretty tired.
Yep.
So the Tigers with the 12-point lead with under 5 in the fourth quarter. A good entry pass to Phipps. He's got 3 scoopers on him and almost got it to fall anyway.
A tough shot there, too. He's almost on the other side of the backboard. Still almost gets it to roll. Does a really good job with his body getting kids on his high side. I mean, he had kids coming for help, and he was still able to get a shot up and almost finish for an and one.
Phipps hits the first of his 2. You see the Scoopers are going to run a defender at Phipps when he does get the ball in the post. We'll have to see how he's able to dish it from that position, or they're able to turn to the baseline. Cale Murphy with a nice offensive rebound, and the Tigers can reset for a possession.
Big offensive rebound right there. Those are it's just so deflating, too. You know, on a missed free throw. Now they get another possession.
Loose ball. Blair Slaughter is able to corral it. Goes baseline and is fouled on the way up.
We talk a lot. Oops, I'm sorry.
Sometimes it might be better to be lucky than it is good. Slaughter looks down and there's a loose ball at his feet. Turns around, is able to drive baseline.
Yeah, we talk a lot about those 50-50 basketballs, which could be anybody's basketball. We've got to win those as much as we can, and you know that one kind of ended up being pretty lucky. Blair being in the right spot at the right time, but still able to get it, go to the basket, get to the free throw line. Do a nice job.
Slaughter hits the first of 2 to give the Tigers a 51-37 lead. We're at exactly 4.5 minutes left in this fourth quarter. Second basket is good for Slaughter. Scoopers will bring it up with Ryan Garland at the helm. At what point, Coach, when you're down by more than 10 points with under half of the quarter left, do you have to start shooting three-pointers, or do you try to challenge your kids to go to the rim, get those buckets, and maybe get to the free throw line and stop the clock?
We're gonna try to go to the rim, you know, and just get that clock. Because I mean, now you look at it, we're playing. If we're in Sturgis' situation, we're playing against we're down a 13-point lead here, now 15, and the clock. So we've got to battle them both. So if we can get the clock stopped somehow by going to the rim and eventually getting to the free throw line, just shooting 1-and-1s, that's going to be beneficial to them. But going to have to get stops offensive or on the defensive end. Excuse me. That's a really nice play there.
Great offensive set there. Dump into the high post right at the elbow, and a backdoor cut by number 14, Alec Keffler, for the layup. Sturgis is not giving up in this game. That was a great set. Another back cut from Hoyt. Hoyt had a nice jump shot at the elbow on the last possession to hit a two-pointer. That two-pointer gives Mr. Hoyt 14 for the game, but Tigers are being led by Blair Slaughter right now with 15. Slaughter loses the handle, and we have a tie-up. Possession arrow is pointing towards Harrisburg, so a nice defensive play by the Scoopers. It will be Tiger ball. Shot clock will not reset because the Tigers had the possession, so they are looking at 11 seconds. Checking in for the Tigers is number 21, Isaac Brower. So the Tigers will look for the first good shot they can get here with 11 seconds left. Hoyt will take the ball out, maybe look to get the ball right back to one of the best shooters on the Tigers team. And a good defensive set by the Scoopers, a steal by Gavin West. Tigers kind of had to force it into the post there, and he cut in front of Phipps. We're under 3 minutes here left at Tiger Gymnasium with the Tigers leading 54-41. Good defense by Phipps, able to get a piece of that ball. The Tigers push it up into the front court, but now pull it back. Slaughter will drive to the middle. Dump down to Phipps. What a great pass. I actually thought it was a shot
I did too.
For the first part, but a nice dump down to Phipps, and he's able to get an easy layup with the left hand, and a timeout by Coach Darius Buss. During our timeout here, we'll read another announcement from the South Dakota High School Activities Association. Leadership you can believe in. Looking for future leaders we can trust in and believe. Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in South Dakota. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins by making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen, follow directions, accepting responsibility, and being a good role model. It's about respect for officials, opponents, the rules, and each other. The result transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. High school sports are much more than just a game. This message is presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota High School Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
I think, boy, this fourth quarter, I think our kids have done just a really nice job on the defensive end. There have been, a couple sets that Sturgis has run and got some nice looks there, but there have been 2 or 3 possessions where the shot clock has been all the way down, to 5, and they forced tough shots in a game where every second matters, and we're looking at that situation. That's a nice job defensively by our kids.
So to set the stage here, we got 2.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. The Tigers lead 56-41. It will be Sturgis Scoopers ball, their half-court set. If the Scoopers are going to make a run, they're going to have to do it again. A nice set with a back screen up high to get the ball to number 32, Gavin West, and in for the layup. Both coaches have done a nice job out of timeouts with some sets and able to get easy buckets.
Yeah, that was a great set out of timeout. Great back screen.
Same idea for the Tigers. Braden Phipps able to roll to the bucket, but unable to take the pass. The Scoopers have the ball with a 13-point deficit. Again, looking for the same set. Hand off to number 2, Stabber, and he's able to get to the bucket. That cuts it to an 11-point lead for the Tigers with 1:51 left. Coach Scott Langrock comfortable with his kids out on the floor to handle the basketball. Isaac Brower loses the handle.
Good timeout.
Coach Langrock calls timeout with possession, so he will keep the basketball. Timeouts left. 2 for the Scoopers and 3 for the Tigers.
It's a really, really good timeout there. That's a second or 2 away from being a jump ball, and possession arrow goes Sturgis' way, and now all of a sudden we're going to try to defend them, and the last 2 possessions, they've gotten really good looks. So keeping the ball on our side of the floor, that was a really good timeout.
Always funny to see how the old momentum part of this basketball game can happen. The Tigers have seemed to be in command almost throughout the game, but there's been 2 or 3 possessions or 2 or 3 streaks where the Scoopers have scored buckets, and it kind of feels like things are tipping their way.
Right, absolutely. Then we'll come back down and get a great shot to kind of quell that momentum and get a couple defensive stops, and we'll have it a little bit. It is that game of momentum, absolutely.
So the Tigers save a possession, but again, do not get a reset of the shot clock with the timeout. So they have 24 seconds left in this half-court set. Plenty of time for Harrisburg to work the ball around. They'll get it to Blair Slaughter up near the half-court circle. He'll be challenged right off the bat by Gavin West. Slaughter over to Murphy. A nice back cut there, but unable to get to the hoop. Now under 10 for the Tigers. Blair Slaughter's going to have to make something happen. A pull-up. Ball is tipped, and Harrisburg once again, those offensive rebounds.
Yep.
This is going to run 30-plus seconds off the clock again. The Scoopers are going to have to start to foul. And matter of fact, Coach is absolutely screaming right now to foul.
Yeah, Sturgis, that's their 4th team foul, so now they've got 3 to make it to that bonus situation, so they're going to have to get up and make that happen.
One of those things where sometimes not fouling early in the quarter can come back to hurt you. Sturgis has a lot of work to do before they actually get the Tigers into the bonus. And another foul on number 14, Alec Heffler. That'll be his second. Still only the Scoopers' 5th foul, so they have 2 more before the Tigers will hit the bonus. We are under a minute here to go to the state tournament. Tigers lob into the backcourt again for Blair Slaughter. Crossover is able to get now to Isaac Brower, and he's fouled by number 2, Cedric Stabber. So the Tigers able to run about 9 seconds off by moving the ball around. 1 foul left for Sturgis before the bonus. Tigers bring in another ball handler, and Adam Erickson instead of Braden Phipps, and is able to get it in the backcourt again. And a quick foul called on number 32, Gavin West. That will put Blair Slaughter to the line. Again, the Tigers have an 11-point lead with 50 seconds left on the clock. Slaughter looking to add to that with a 1-and-1.
It's a really nice job by our kids getting the ball in bounds, being strong with the basketball, knowing we're going to get fouled, now going to the free throw line.
Front end miss by Slaughter gives Sturgis a little bit of hope. Stabber into the front court, is able to get it to Garland. Garland with Hoyt on him. And the ball is stolen by Adam Erickson, and that will just about do it here as number 14, Alec Keffler, fouls Hoyt, but we're down to 32 seconds and a double-digit lead for the Tigers. Hoyt will step to the line for 1-1, the 8th foul on the Scoopers. Tigers looking at subbing in their bench here. In for the Tigers, number 4, Peyton Marquardt. Number 11, Sam Christensen. Number 10, Nick Feldman. And number 12, Blaze Lubers. Set to check in, the younger brother of Nick Hoyt is number 24, Nathan Hoyt. Only if his brother misses a free throw. Is he going to let little brother into the game? Let's take a look. Makes the front end. Number 42 for the Scoopers, Jay Kroll.
That's almost automatic for Nick at the free throw line, isn't it?
You don't think he'd miss it so little brother doesn't get into the game? I think he looked over at the bench here. If this misses by a lot, we know it might have been on purpose. Hoyt with the second of 2. And it's in. Slaps little brother's hand. Congratulations, Hug, as he checks into the game. Number 24, Nathan Hoyt. So the Scoopers have the ball with 32 seconds left. Again, the Scoopers have not given up all night, have really given the Tigers a challenge. A deep 3 right there from Ryan Garland and a timeout from Coach Buss. So we're down to a 10-point lead. Again, the Tigers will take a timeout. Coach, congratulations to you and the girls. On the 14th, 15th, and 16th of March, you guys will be headed to Rapid City. Looks like the boys will be joining you. Great for both programs. Kind of tell us, as you go to a state tournament out in Rapid City, what are you looking forward to as you and the team travel?
Well, first of all, thanks for that. We really appreciate it. This is exciting. This is, I believe, our 3rd year in a row the boys and girls have been able to go to the state tournament together. Just what a neat deal for Harrisburg basketball all the way around. Really happy for Coach Langrock and his staff. Obviously, they got 25 seconds left in this game, but they've done a really nice job this game. You know, we look forward to we're out there to win the whole thing, as every team is, you know, but we're also out there to enjoy the journey at the same time. Our kids have had an incredible regular season, played a great SODAC game last night to be able to get ourselves to this point, and you know, we're just really, really proud of our kids and look forward to spending a few more weeks with them. I don't know if they're overly excited about the practice part of that, but you know, we are just being around them because they're a great group of kids and have worked really hard to get where they're at, and much like the boys, obviously spending hours and hours in the gym, and you know, rightfully deserving of where they're at.
Again, congratulations to you. We had Nick Feldman there get fouled. Feldman, a 5'10 guard. He's a senior. He is going to step to the free throw line. The Scoopers will send a couple substitutes in. Number 21, David Anderson, and number 24, Caden Phillips, check into the game. Also number 30, Evan Smith, and number 11, Gabe Langer. So some of the Sturgis younger folks get to step on the court for their first SODAC 16 game. I'm sure they'll be looking forward to doing the same next year. Feldman is able to hit 2, and the Tigers lead by 12 as the Scoopers push the ball up the court.
You know, you mentioned it before. Hats off to Sturgis and the battle that they fought tonight, staying in the game down 20 at one point and fighting their way back into a 9-point game. Just a nice effort by them tonight.
It was, but that is the final buzzer. So the Tiger boys basketball team joins the girls basketball team. Both will be headed to state March 14, 15, and 16. Congratulations to Coach Scott Langrock and all of the Tiger coaches. We will keep the cameras rolling here for the trophy presentation. Leading scorers for the Tigers, they just cleared the board on me, so I'm going to have no idea who it was unless, Coach, you have some of those on your stat sheet.
Well, I have field goal percentage, but I think Blair Slaughter led us with somewhere around 16, 17 points. Nick Hoyt was right in that area as well, 16, 17. Just a nice job by those senior kids. Nice job.
Pretty balanced scoring tonight from the Tigers.
Absolutely.
We didn't have somebody that needed to score 30. Had a couple kids in double digits there. I think 3 or 4 of them scored double digits.
Yep, absolutely.
Overall, just a good game for Coach Langrock. I know they had lost a couple here. I think they lost 4 of their last 6 games, so that's always tough when you're headed into the playoffs to not be on a winning streak.
Right.
And so I'm sure this is a great win for Coach, and the kids are going to be excited. We have our activities director, Jim Altenberg, out to half court to present the Sodak 16 trophy to the seniors and Coach Langrock. As the team meets there at half court once again, we want to thank head coach Nick Meyer of the girls basketball team for joining us in the booth tonight for our live broadcast. We want to thank Mr. Ryan Kroger and all the Tiger Vision kids for helping us out with the live stream tonight. We wish you could have joined us here in the gymnasium, but glad you did join us on the live stream. Again, the Tigers' next games will be March 14, 15, and 16 out in Rapid City. Hopefully 2 state championships brought back for Coach. Thanks again, Coach.
Thanks a lot for having me. Appreciate it.
That was good. That is full. Anything else you need from us? Hey, I was going to ask you here. So Mr. Swanson is not out of this game. So how much do you want? Now it's really Craig. Half, you want as many as you can get. Think about the family first. Just say, think about that. I'm going to have to ask you now. Do you want Monday? Do you want more? Less? It's easy work. Always welcome. You know, I don't know that they do so. Not near as much. I just you don't have to. Good. I wish I could do more of this. The PA's not that fun. Just telling people what just happened. Thanks. Have a good